The woman was suddenly shocked to discover that the falling raindrops were eerily floating upward, defying gravity. But before the two of them could react, the hospital building was suddenly shaken by violent tremors, as if the end of the world was upon them. Then, as quickly, everything calmed down again. The woman immediately got up and looked out the window, only to witness an even more bizarre sight. The entire building had been instantaneously transported to the distant surface of the moon. At the same time, the hospital that had originally stood on Earth mysteriously vanished, leaving behind only a massive crater in its place.
We're on the moon. We're on the bloody moon.
What on earth was going on? Everyone turned their eyes curiously toward the window. But once they confirmed that they had truly arrived on the moon, 380,000 kilometers away from Earth, they all broke down in despair, crying helplessly. The hospital was instantly plunged into chaos. Unexpectedly, Martha, who was still just an intern, remained calm. While comforting the surrounding patients, she reached out to open the window, wanting to confirm whether this was all just a hallucination. However, a colleague nearby quickly stopped her, warning that they would lose their air. But Martha promptly argued back, the entire hospital wasn't airtight to begin with. If air were going to leak, it would have happened already. At that moment, a man suddenly appeared and agreed with Martha's logic. That man was none other than the all-powerful doctor. Seeing that Martha was clever, the doctor decided to recruit her as a temporary assistant. He then led her to a balcony, and sure enough, when they stepped outside, they found they could still breathe normally.
How does that work?
Just be glad it does.
The doctor picked up a stone and tossed it into the air, only to see it bounce off an invisible barrier that surrounded the hospital. Clearly, someone had deliberately put the shield in place to prevent the air from escaping. But Martha quickly realized another problem. If they were sealed inside like a bubble, the air supply would eventually be depleted by the thousands of people inside, and they would all suffocate in the end.
Why would anyone do that?
Just as she finished speaking, a deep rumbling sound echoed from afar. Moments later, 3 cylindrical spacecraft slowly descended right in front of the hospital. It was clear that the culprits behind the hospital's relocation had finally appeared.
That's aliens. Real proper aliens.
Jadoon.
3 fully armed aliens stepped out of the ships, then marched in unison toward the hospital.